as you're seeing on screen, this is the next episode, the Candy Barbarian. And before you ask in the comments below, what is going on with the frame rate? Why is this like so laggy? I don't know myself why is this so laggy. This is not like editing me. I'm not doing anything. This is what's been happening lately for me specifically. When I press like something like F7 or if I go to the dashboard, this is like the kind of frame rate I get. I don't know why this is happening to me. Like I tried different commands in Trove, but nothing seems to work. The only thing that I'm missing is just reinstall the game, which I'll probably do after this video. And honestly speaking, dude, it's been so annoying to deal with this kind of lag. Yeah, so also let me know which character would you like to see in the next episode. The next episode is going to be episode 13. I probably will assume it's going to be the Boomeranger scene that so many people want to see it. And I will post also a clip on screen of me getting to 30k PR. Hi people from YouTube. So, let me check which is going to be the one that I'm going to level. Probably you. First try. So, yes. Right now should be at 30,000 power rank. And this is the intro, well, part of the intro. So, once again, hello to everyone from YouTube. Woohoo! I got the Candy Barb to 30k PR. And yeah, so that is all I have to say. Enjoy the 30k Candy Barbarian video. You might be thinking, this gonna be throughout the whole video. No, this is only when I have F7. I don't have the HUD on screen, but if I press like the F7, everything will go to normal frame rate. So this is going to be temporary until I just remove F7, you know, like remove all the HUD. And yeah, so this character has been one of the characters that was the most forgotten, at least for Xbox, due to the increasing popularity when it comes to the tanks in Shadow Towers, because of the Revenant and the Gunslinger having the Berserk Battler buff. And honestly speaking, it's like this character has been forgotten. And yeah, so in this video I will show you why is this character still a viable option. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to another JMP video. I'm your host JonNario, and today it is another 30k PR video. This time it is the 30k PR Candy Barbarian. My Candy Barbarian is currently sitting at 30,022 power rank. And like I mentioned in the intro, you saw that the frame rate just stabilizes like normally. I don't know why is this a thing, but it is a thing. That's why I also have the FPS counter on the top left. Anyways, I will go into my stats. My stats are as follow, like always. I do have 371,669 physical damage. This character, like the Lunar Lancer, has a bonus 30% physical damage by default. So that's why it has a lot of physical damage. I also have 248% attack speed, 248%, that's attack speed gear. With fully pearl, no stars. 89.1% critical hit, that's really low. 1,926.3 critical damage, that's quite a lot for, especially for this kind of powering. And 4,146 slide. Anyways, like I previously mentioned, I have a critical damage attack speed gear, all pieces of gear. You can use this character however you want, with critical damage, attack speed, or movement speed. This character is really good with movement speed gear, so this character is very versatile in that regard. I do have maximum health quite a bit because you probably saw down there I don't have either Revenant subclass or I don't have Unyielding, so I need a lot of maximum health so I can survive. And critical hit because my critical hit is low. I do have energy regen ring. I would recommend anyone to have energy regen on Candy Barbarian, especially if you want to kill enemies really quickly. I'll tell you why in a bit. Raptor Berserker. Raptor Berserker is the best physical damage ally in the entire game. You get a lot of benefit from it, so it's a no-brainer that you use this character with Raptor Berserker, seeing that it's a physical damage character. Chronometric Emblem, it is a weird choice, I'll explain why in a bit. And Martial Emblem because Martial, and it is the best, pretty much the best physical damage emblem that you will ever use. Conjure's Crucible Battle, the same reason as always. I have high magic find, I trigger magic find like crazy, so it allows me to spam flask to kill all enemies. And Mounted Cavalry Knight subclass because I don't have movement speed gear and I would like to have a little bit more movement speed with my mounts. But this is the one that you might be thinking, Chronometric Emblem. Why am I using Chronometric Emblem? This character, the only ability that you have on cooldown, it is the ultimate ability. And the ultimate ability is so powerful that I would like to just build to use the ultimate ability as much as I can. So like I previously mentioned, I can use pretty much flash every single dungeon due to high magifying Conjure's Crucible Vial. And since I'm using a lot of flask, I get the ultimate ability really quickly. So I can throw the ultimate ability at like every two or three dungeons, which is rather ridiculous considering the stupid amount of damage that this ultimate ability actually does. I'll explain why once I get to Uber 10, but let's go into my gems. My gems are as follow. I do have a one of each right over here. This one has pathetic percentage. I can just, if I want it, I can just use a Contain Chaos Flare and move this pearl to one of the other, but as of right now I really don't care. And if you probably notice, I don't have class gem. I don't need class gem when it comes to dungeon grinding, and I've been doing a little bit more experiment without class gem, but class gem is still very useful. I do have also one of each right here, physical damage, crit damage, and maximum health. And I also do have a 2-1 crit damage right over here. It's not too bad. Moving on to my lesser gems, like I said on my previous videos, lately I have a full set of perfect gems of all of my characters. So 2-1 physical, 2-1 crit damage. Well, this one's 2-1 physical, this one's 2-1 crit damage, this one's 2-1 crit damage, this one's 2-1 physical, 2-1 physical, and 2-1 crit damage. Divided half and half with 3 gems with 2 crit damage roll, 1 physical, and 3 gems with 2 physical damage roll and 1 crit damage. My lesser cosmic gem, the same reason. I always have at least 2 light and 2 or 3 light on all of my gems. Well, my lesser gems, so I have 2 light, 1 crit damage, 2 light, 1 physical. My 2 lesser cosmic gems, and I have right here a 2 light, 1 crit damage on my empower gem. So it is not bad. I have quite a bit of light rolls, and so like I previously mentioned, I do have crystal. Well, I didn't mention it. I do have crystal 3 on all of my characters, so this is a character that I do have also crystal 3. That's why I have over 4,000 light. And yeah, and I also have Empyrean Barrier. Empyrean Barrier is one of the worst abilities in the entire game. It's pretty useless in my opinion, and whatever, it's the best one that I got, so might as well just use it. And some people have been asking me to, give me a recommendation of which power gem ability you should have. If you want to use the class gem, go with the class gem. I don't use the class gem because I just like to jump around like an idiot. I always recommend you to have Pirate Disc, especially with this character, since this character has a movement speed buff in its passive ability. And also, yeah, you can use whichever gem you want, because this is a character that doesn't require or need any specific gem ability to do well. But having like explosive epilogue, the usual explosive epilogue, Pirate Disc, or Cubic Curtain, those things are always useful. So yeah, anyways, those are my gems. This is my gear, and this is my Candy Barbarian. I will be going into Uber 10 in 3, 2, 1. And here I am, Uber 10. So, how does the Candy Barbarian fare in Uber 10? Let me just fix this real quick. There we go. I had my draw distance like in 30 just to reduce the lag and my club world. So, anyways, how does the Candy Barbarian fare in Uber 10? This is one of the most forgotten classes in the game, but this is still one of the strongest characters in the entire game, believe it or not. It has a ridiculously overpowered ultimate ability. The ultimate ability literally destroys everything around it. I've been comparing a lot of abilities to this Candy Barbarian's ult, and the reason being is because the Candy Barbarian's ultimate ability does 15 times damage. That's the second highest multiplier, like raw multiplier in the entire game out of all abilities. I know that the Neon Ninja technically has a higher multiplier with a Shuriken, but you have to do critical hits. But the Candy Barbarian does have like a 15 times damage just raw with or without critical hit. The strongest is the Shadow Hunter ult, in case you were wondering. And to be honest, is like one of the strongest, most overpowered, ridiculously bananas abilities in the entire games. Yes, I have to include the bananas. And to be honest, is why it makes this character a contender, being one of the strongest U10 characters in the entire game. This character always has been one of the best characters in the entire game, like period. Like it is the best starter class. It is one of the best all-around class in the entire game. It is high up there with like Vanguardian in terms of overall effectiveness. It's a character that literally you do everything that it does everything. It literally does everything. It has like the vanilla swirlwind or the spin attack. It is one of the best abilities in the entire game. Not only because it does decent damage, it doesn't do the best damage. It's because that allows you to have a lot of survivability on this character, because there's a reason I do not use like unyielding. It's because every time you hit an enemy with the vanilla swirlwind, with this, which is this attack, you regain 10% of your maximum health. That is each enemy. So if you hit 3 enemies, that's 30% maximum health restored to you. So if you attack 10 enemies, that's 100% of your maximum health. And if you throw your ultimate ability, you regain like 80% of your maximum health. So this character has insane survivability. It has really high survivability. Like I previously mentioned, the ultimate ability does ridiculous amounts of damage, and the vanilla swirlwind does 6.5, I believe it does. I believe it's 6.5 for 6 times damage, which is not the best, like honestly speaking, it's not the best. But this ability has a really short animation time, so you can spam it really quickly. That is the reason I always recommend you to have energy regen, because that is, you know what, I'm not even gonna do that 5-star, screw that. And anyway, so the vanilla swirlwind is one of the strongest abilities in the entire game because of that particular reason alone. It has a really short animation time, so you can technically spam it like crazy. The only bad part about that is one of the biggest negative about this character, is that the vanilla swirlwind does knockback. It's one of the few abilities in the game that still does knockback. So if you're in a high dungeon, like a lot of the U10 dungeons, well, the Geo topside dungeons, you will see that if you don't kill the enemy fast with like 1 or 2 vanilla swirlwind, you will knock enemies off the map. And it can be quite annoying to deal with, and to be honest, it is one of the biggest weaknesses about the Candy Barbarian. Other than that, everything else is just incredible. This attack, which is like, I believe it's called Sugar Crash. So the Sugar Crash, which is the leap ability, if you hit an enemy, if you didn't know, if you hit an enemy, you will activate your passive ability 100% of the time. So you will get the attack speed and movement speed bonus, and that is what makes this character one of the fastest character in the entire game. Like statistically, it's one of the fastest character in the entire game. Not because of this, because this is like a laggy mess. It's because you get a 20%, not 20%, a 20 base movement speed increase due to the passive ability, and not to mention the 100 extra attack speed. So this character, it is incredible. It's an all-around beast. It's literally one of the top characters in the entire game, and this is probably my recommended character for all starter players. If you get a choose of one of the 5 starter classes, I will pick this character over anyone else. Obviously the knight is my main, and this is the character that I like the most. But if I would like overall effectiveness, that I would choose the Candy Barbarian over the Knight, just because of the 30% bonus physical damage, the insane passive ability that gives you attack speed buff, the vanilla swirlwind, which gives you a lot of survivability, and the high overall damage that it has on pretty much everything. Like all the multipliers is just ridiculous. Now you just saw right there the ultimate ability with Marshall is dealing 78 mil damage. That's more damage than my knight with Spirit Squire, and my knight is fully maxed out. And this character is only 30 KPR. So you know that what kind of damage this character does. This ultimate ability actually does, and not to mention the crowd control. Oh, they said it. Is it beautiful? You literally just throw it, oops, everything's dead. And that's literally it about this character. It's an overall monster. It literally does everything that you want on a character. It has really high multipliers on pretty much all abilities. It's either average or high. The basic attack, I believe, is 1.85 times damage, which is above average. The vanilla swirlwind, like I mentioned, is 6 times damage, which is also it's more like average. The sugar crash is 4.5, so it's not low, but it's not high. It's a little bit below average, but the ultimate ability is just ridiculous. It's literally like you use the ultimate ability only on bosses, so you technically have a one-shot, pretty much a one-shot to all enemies around you, because you don't even need to aim the ultimate ability to kill all enemies around you. You just throw it and everything just dies, and that's pretty much it. And the way you use this character in Uber 10, you don't need highlight, but I would recommend you to have highlight if you want to use this character for U10. Go with any of the attack speed, movement speed, or crit damage. You can use this character however you want. Movement speed because of the movement speed increase, and you can just use this sugar crash with cancel with one dodge. You can actually do that, and that will help you in your momentum. Or just do this, just one jump and into sugar crash. That will be an amazing, also an amazing movement speed tool. You can also use crit damage, attack speed. You can use whichever you want. And I lost that chest. Huh! I opened up that chest at the same time. I just went into the portal and I lost it. Oh, rip. And honestly speaking, you can use this character however you want. If you're fighting against Cursed Skull, make sure to use Vanilla Swirlwind every so often so you can heal up. And also just use your ultimate ability on bosses. You can also use Sugar Crash on bosses. If you want to just go into a dungeon, just use Sugar Crash so you can get the increased attack speed. So similar to something like this, if you see the Cursed Skull and you activate it with Sugar Crash, or if you see a boss, then you can just throw a Sugar Crash and then throw your ultimate ability. And like I previously mentioned, and not doing the 5-star again, and like I previously mentioned, just throw ultimate ability on cooldown against bosses. The ultimate ability is ridiculously overpowered. It is one of the strongest abilities in the entire game. I would probably say that this is the best ultimate ability in the entire game because of the benefit that you get. And not to mention, you also get an ability that pretty much one-shots everything. You can use this the similar way that you use the Lunar Lancer with ultimate ability. You can just throw down your ultimate ability and do one Vanilla Swirlwind before it hits. So you will have an incredibly high burst damage of 21 times damage. I believe it's something like that. And 21 times damage is an instant one-shot to everything. And like I mentioned in my Lunar Lancer video, you're using Marshall, unlike the Neon Ninja, which you normally aren't using Marshall. And since you're using Marshall, you literally just kill everything around you with 21 times damage in multiplier. And if you have high enough stats, that's literally a recipe for one shot to everything. But anyways, I'll complete this 3-star dungeon and call it a day. There's nothing else needs to be said about this character. It is an all-around beast. It is one of the best characters in the entire game. I would strongly recommend anyone to use the Candy Barbarian as a damage type rather than I've seen a lot of people go with the tank type. Do not use it as a tank, use it as a DPS, because this is one of the best DPS type characters in the entire game. It doesn't have high DPS, but it does have high damage. It is one of the best things about the Candy Barbarian. It's just that it does ridiculous amounts of damage. It is ridiculous, like 15 times damage on this. That is no joke. And this, even though it's 6 times damage, you can see how fast I can spam it. Basic attack, it is average in terms of speed, and in terms of power it is also above average, so it does have a little bit better DPS. It's not as good as the Knights, but it's still better than something like the Boomerangers, and the Boomeranger still is pretty decent in terms of like basic attack. And Sugar Crash, it is a leap ability that you can control the distance. If you didn't know, you can, if you want to jump around really far away, you can just jump around and at the same time do a Sugar Crash, and you will get like an insane boost in speed. And yeah, so that is one of the best things about the Candy Barbarian. It is an all-around character. The only weakness that I will say is that it has knockback, and that's everything that I have to say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around as always. If you have a Candy Barbarian, let me know which power rank are you. Leave a like if you want to help the channel grow. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And that is all for today. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and keep on hunting. See ya.